Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Natsu Comic Book. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about This Monster Wants to Eat Me, Season 1, Episode 9. Great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So, obviously, with all that Ayame told Hinako last episode, has kind of been running through her mind about like Shiori, the mermaid blood. I feel like I've seen Shiori's true form before. And so that's been rattling through her mind. And obviously she hasn't had that opportunity to talk to Shiori because Shiori's going out of her way to avoid her. I figured it wasn't just about like, oh, you see my true form. I figured there was more to it, especially with the blood angle to it. But I'll get to that. And so Miko is obviously worried about her. It's like, oh, whatever it is, you can talk to me about it. And so she brings all it up to Miko, and Miko's like, huh, interesting. You know, she's like, could Ayame have been lying? But Hinako's like, nah, I'm pretty sure she wasn't lying. It's like, yeah, Ayame wouldn't have had a reason to lie. Why would she? So it's like, when could she have given you her blood? You feel like you've seen her true form before. And it's like, yeah, mermaids are very distinct. So it's like, you like wouldn't really forget like something like that. So but it's but ultimately Miko's like, right, if you want that information, you're probably gonna have to ask Shiori straight up. But it's like, yeah, she's been avoiding me. It's like, don't worry, we'll hunt her down. And then Hinako's like, well, we don't have to. Miko's like, yeah, let's go fish hunting. It's like, but you know, prior obligations make her like not available. But Hinako's like, no, I'll do it. I'll talk to her myself, and knowing her, she'll be honest with me. But even Miko's just thinking to herself, like, why do you trust her so much? It's like, it is interesting, and it's like, I think there is a deeper, like, subconscious reason for it too, because of their past connection. I think plays a role in it, but it's also like, Shiori's the first person Hinako's ever been able to be completely honest with, who saw her for her and understood like what she wanted, like could smell the like, once again, the beach well, you know, the smell of death on her. And so ultimately, Hinako and Shiori sit down and have that conversation. You can tell how avoidant Shiori is when Hinako's like, have we met before? She's like, yes, yeah, we have. You know, she's like, you know, at school here, like, hey, we're here at your house here right now. We're meeting right now. It's like, you know exactly what I mean. And it's like, yeah, what about like the blood and everything? Which I forgot a very important scene when like, it's like, oh, because the blood has been inside of Hinako's system so long that most yokai wouldn't be able to just immediately smell it. Like Miko has never been able to smell it. But then like Hinako was like, oh, do you want to taste it to see what it is? And Miko was like, no, don't even joke about that. It's like, because you get like even a drop nearby, she's going to lose control of herself. I mean, she ripped up like, you know, bit off two of her own tails just to make sure that she's able to control herself. And but once again, in Hinako's defense, she still doesn't know like the consequences for Miko doing that. But either way, and I love that like when she finally does sit back down, I love it seeing like social distancing because she's like super far away from Hinako in that moment. But like she tries to do the same thing here. It's like, right, you said I'm tasty. Like, what about me? Do I still look delicious? And it's like, because she was told like once a yokai is giving you their blood, you become disgusting to them. So it's like, and that's when the moment started kind of being like, right, like what the weight of that means when Shiori says like, oh, like when it's like, oh, she can't eat you. That means like the whole impetus on this like bond that we have is predicated on the end result is you will eat me. But now it's like, wait, you're not going to? So it's like, she's like, fine, I admit I did give you my blood and we did meet 10 years ago and it was before the accident. And it's like, yeah, you were a young girl and it was the family trip where her family died. I was under the impression and thinking like, oh, Shiori must have given her blood after the fact, like after that. Cause I thought like maybe Shiori, like her parents and brother were already dead, but she could save Hinako and did, and gave her blood then in that moment. But it turns out before the accident even happened, she had given her blood. Cause Shiori didn't know the results would be what it is. Cause I guess like after she gave Hinako her blood, that's the last time they saw each other until now. Like maybe I don't know what made her decide to seek out Hinako now after all this time. Maybe I don't know, whispers around the yokai world had kind of gotten to her. I don't know what made her like pop up now after all this time. Maybe she has. I mean, I feel like no, because Miko would have definitely noticed if Shiori was nearby in any shape or form, like even before now. So it's only just now that she's popping back into Hinako's life. But either way, she says like Hinako, like she wanted to return like a small favor, a blessing to Hinako, because Hinako did something. We don't know what it is. Maybe we'll find out in the next couple episodes, but whatever it is, Shiori wanted to pay her back, so gave her a little blessing. And the blessing was to make it so that she never got sick and she would never be, yokai would never attack her, which I was like, that's interesting, consider like yokai exclusively go after her because of her smell. But we find out it's because the blood was, over the years, the blood was slowly going to integrate into her system. But when the accident happened, the mixture kicked into overdrive, and that's why I think she has a healing factor that she does. Like, it's not crazy, but it's definitely crazier than a human's healing factor, as we've seen, and kind of made it so that she's a trapped yokai. So it's like something happened in that compound mixture. Because again, once again, it's supposed to be like a slow diluted process, but for it to happen all at once, it mixed her blood. And then I'm almost curious what that means for, like, is she almost like, we met a human turned yokai. I wonder, does that make Hinako like something else now too? Like, does that mixture eventually make it so does she eventually develop yokai abilities, or is the only downside, like, is the only plus side she gets is this enhanced healing factor and like smelling so delectable to so many other yokai? Like, I wonder why that mixture created that reaction. But even Shiori's like, I didn't give you my blood because I knew that accident was going to happen. It's just life worked out that way, and she didn't plan for it to be that way. And now that's where the true like horror of this all really seeps into reality, and like the heartbreaking element for Hinako, because it's like it complicates things, because Hinako's always want to be reunited with her family, and to know that the only reason why she survived is because of Shiori, the person that's supposed to be your end, who is no longer able to kill you or eat you. Now you realize that person is also the reason why you didn't die with your family. So that obviously has a layer of complicated feelings. But it's like, you knew that you couldn't eat me, that I was disgusting to you. She's like, when you were a kid, when I met you 10 years ago, yes, you were delectable, but like now you are disgusting to me and I can never eat you. But it's like, you went into this, you made that promise, you were going to be my salvation, and you lied to me. You concocted all of this. And it's like, the reason why is because she's like, I had one small prayer that you would live a happy life, that nothing would happen to you, that you have to live. And now Hinako's like, that voice, it was Shiori's. Cause I figured that wasn't her mom, but I thought like maybe it was like her mom's wish or something that Shiori was acting upon. It's like, no, the wish was Shiori's wish. And what makes that even more complicated is, and you get that moment from Hinako later on where it's just like, I mean, and she talks about it in the same, well, thinks about it in the same conversation, but like the ocean was supposed to be like falling into the depths and being embraced by the ocean was supposed to be her salvation from her pain, because she's thinking to herself, like, I kept up with, like, it's like, I didn't want to leave Miko behind because I didn't want to stall that son. So that's why I never took my life. I thought my parents and my family wanted me to live. I was living for their wish, so I never took my life. But then you came into my life. You were the person. Like, I kept up and dealt with all the pain, and you came to be the one that helped end it all. You were going to be my escape from all this pain. And now to find out the thing that kept me going, that belief that it was my family's wish that I didn't. Because I think she told her that when she was telling the backstory of what happened. Because like I said, Shiori doesn't know that story. This was her first time hearing it. She didn't know about the scars and stuff, because I guess the scars are like a representation of, like, because the wounds, I guess, were so deep that they never properly healed, hence why the scars are what they are. So for her, it's like, I've been living this lie. I've continued to live in this pain and suffering for like over a decade for something that I associate with my family. So it's like, it was all a lie. And to find out that Shiori's kind of been the embodiment of that lie. She just because Shiori tries to go like, oh, well, like, it's sad that you're kind of backpedaling now, because like, yeah, you were already on your way to becoming a human. But for her, it's like, you lied. Like, I trusted you. You're a monster. Because that's why Shiori's been avoiding her, because she knew that Hinako would have this reaction if the truth came, and she did not want to have this conversation. I think that's even more so why she probably distanced herself even more so, like, what was it, episode 7? Because either, like, it finally all start, like, maybe after seeing her scars, it finally all clicked to Shiori about what this all was. Or maybe she's always known. Like, it's hard to say, like, whether when she entered back into Hinako's life, she already knew. Once again, she didn't know about the scars. She didn't know about her story. But maybe after, like, episode 3, because that's when she heard her story, is when it started, like, I think that was episode 3, right? Maybe that's when it started trickling out. Maybe it was episode 2. Either way, maybe that's when it really started trickling out that, like, oh, like, her figuring out this is what Hinako's circumstances are. But, like, she was all playful and getting close to her, but it's not until, like, episode 7 where she made that point to keep a distance because she knew eventually Hinako would find out the truth, and she was scared. Well, I mean, I think, like, I already knew at the time she was doing it for herself because she was getting close to Hinako. But I think it's just the fact is that she was scared, like, I don't want to let my guard down. I don't want to let myself believe something because I know when eventually the truth will come out and you'll hate me. And that's kind of where we are. And so it kind of is interesting because, you know, it goes back to that conversation Miko and Shiori had, like, in episode 7 about, like, yokais being liars and stuff like that. So, because Miko wears her heart on her sleeve, Shiori, she wears a mask, and this is one of those moments where she took off the mask. And so I love Miko was nearby, and like, Hinako's so heartbroken, she just walks past Miko. Miko turns into her fox form and is like, yo, tell me what you did to her, because if you don't, like, I'm going to bite your head off. But it's like, oh, right. When things don't go your way, this is when you finally shut up. It's like, you're a waste of time. And so Shiori's like, hey, let's go on a date. And they go on one, I'm like, and they're having fun. And then Miko just, like, slams the pamphlet. Why the hell are we here at the zoo? And it's like, oh, you actually thought this was a date? It's like, I thought it was a date because you said it was one. But either way, they're hanging out and they're in front of, like, this penguin exhibit. And Shiori's like, what do you think when you see all this? It's like, she's like, you mean the penguins? That they're cute? And she's like, yeah, that seems like a very you answer. And Shiori's like, when I look out, whether it's the humans in front, whether it's the penguins, it's all the same. It's food. It's meat to me. So for her, it's like she's envious of Miko because Miko spent so much time integrated with the humans that she can compartmentalize. Her yokai self doesn't dictate how she views humans. Humans are important to her. She looks after humans. She cares for humans. But for Shiori, it's like, I don't have that in me. I just see them as food. And, you know, she's jealous and envious of Miko to be able to have that kind of connection. Because I think for her, it's like, because it seems like at one point in time, she tried to have that connection. I'll get to that in a second. And maybe she had also thought maybe that helped with the Hinako of it all. But Miko's like, I wasn't always like this. It took a monk capturing me and forcing me. But eventually, I came to grow and care for these humans and watch over them. It's like, for her, it's like, I found connection specifically through one person. Like, Hinako became that through line, but, like, she cared for humans, but she deeply, deeply started caring the moment she finally fully connected with the one person that became so important to her, Hinako. You know, it's like, you can do that too. It's not like out of the realm of possibility. But she's like, the fact is you're acting like that. She's like, yeah, you probably couldn't do it. And Shiori's like, right, you're right, I can't. She's like, because I tried. And Miko, it's like, wait, you tried? She's like, yeah. Long time ago, she's like, I tried to live amongst humans. And this kind of ties into what I was like, the reason why she has the reaction she does towards Hinako, because I'm like, it's got to be because there was a Hinako before Hinako, and it seems like there was. She's like telling the story. She's like, I remember a village, there were these fishes that were like, had their bellies eaten out, flies were gathering around, and there was that one person that smelled like a beached whale, just like Hinako. And it was like this child in this village, and we see Shiori in her mainly in her mermaid form, but part of her face looks like a human. So I'm sure that's going to be part of next episode, is that backstory to understand a little bit more of her times. Like, that was probably the thing that made her go like, I'm never going to get close to humans again, because we have no idea how long ago that was. But Hinako is probably the first human she ever connected with again. I mean, something happened in that moment, and maybe because of the past, Hinako did something that reminded Shiori of the past, and whoever this young person was, I think it was like a girl too, in the past. And it's like, okay, so whatever Hinako did made her go like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that this human is okay. Like, to give her a blessing that would make sure she never gets sick or be attacked by yokai must mean someone that, like, either the girl was sick, got sick, or got attacked by yokai. Like, there's got to be some correlation there for you to give her your blood that would do this specific thing, because I guess you didn't give it to this person back then. So you distance yourself from humans, but you just, the cycle couldn't help it tugging at your heartstrings, no matter, who knows what it was. And I'm curious if it's something related. Like, did Hinako, like, make a prayer to, like, maybe, like, it's a legend there, and, like, maybe she made a prayer to this little girl's grave or something like that. What was that thing that she did that caught Shiori's eye that made her go, like, hey, then I will give you this blessing? Maybe she helped out Shiori. Maybe she saw Shiori and didn't get scared. And maybe she thought Shiori was fascinating, and most people would be terrified of her as a monster. Because let's not forget, she did see Shiori's true form. So, I don't know. We'll ultimately have to wait to the next episode to potentially get the answers to some of these questions. I'm excited to see ultimately where all of this ends up taking us. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.